Welcome to Be Continued. My name's Jake.
My name is Garrett.
And my name is Dare, and this is To Be Continued, where we continue all your favorite TV, movies, and anything else pop culture related.
This evening's topic is a classic of some sorts. It's a good childhood favorite of mine, Iron Giant.
Yes. Vin Diesel.
Is
Shout
it?
out. Yeah, it's Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel, yeah.
voiced the Iron Giant. Fun
Oh, I
fact.
didn't know that.
And Jennifer Aniston's like the mom in it.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Oh my god, I never.
Yeah.
Oh.
But when you,
Yeah, right?
I'm
like
very
what?
prepared for this. I'm very prepared.
no, I mean, I'll be honest. I didn't get a chance to rewatch this one, but
seen
I do
clips,
love
yeah.
I do love Hogarth, and I do love Vin Diesel. And when you look at like Groot too from like Guardians of the Galaxy, it is kind of like Iron Giant is
Oh,
a really
man.
good like tryout for Groot, even though that probably was never in his mind or anyone's mind. You know what I mean? But like when they're like, who can we do for Groot? I bet you someone in a room was like Iron Giant. Like, or when Vin Diesel came across the table, they're like,
Yeah.
why him? And then they're like, Iron Giant.
Do you remember this classic
Yeah.
bad boy?
Someone's probably like, when they're hiring him, like they're looking at like what he's done and stuff. So
Gotta
they're
look at the
probably,
resume.
like- exactly.
I mean,
Or the IMDb.
when you watch him do the voice for the Iron Giant too, it's very like you can see a lot of emotion and very like simple stuff. It kind
Yeah.
of feels like but like there is a lot of emotion, and like that's all his like weird vocals, and he like really went into character for that one apparently, like back in the day. Like I think I've seen a video of him on like in the booth, and he was just like doing some weird shit, like getting into character as this robot. But like, I mean, fuck yeah, if anyone can say 4 words really cool, I mean that's
Vin
the guy.
Diesel.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, the movie itself has like so much heart and like so much scenes, and it pays off like.
It's got a little bit of
And
everything.
it's Brad Bird, the maker of later on, I think the Ratatouille, Incredibles. Maybe not Ratatouille. That might have been Pete Docter, but yeah. But that's the man, Brad Bird. He did a Tomorrowland, almost did Star Wars. He was like one of the people who, if J.J. Abrams didn't take over, Brad Bird would have been the guy. I don't know what that would have been like now that I've seen like Tomorrowland, but Incredibles 2 is good. Incredibles 1
Yeah,
is great. You know what I
Incredibles
mean?
2, yeah.
So shout out to this.
Well,
Huh?
Incredibles 2 is a different story. We should definitely do To Be
Yeah.
Continued on that. I will say,
Just
like,
opened a
there's-
can of worms. No, I'm just
I
kidding.
know, because like
I
don't
will
know
say
how-
it's not amazing.
It's-
It-
well,
it doesn't have a good lasting effect in like my head.
I noticed that you said Incredibles 2 good, Incredibles 1 great. That was what piqued
Yeah.
my curiosity.
Well,
But anyway, back on the topic. of
Incredibles
Iron
1's
Giant.
better.
Incredibles. It's got me angry. No,
Save it for a different time.
Yeah. All right, so the Iron Giant. How are we going to continue the story of the Iron Giant? So it was right after he had just saved his like life in the end.
Okay,
You
so
have the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Garrett just pulled out the
I
Blu-ray
have the Blu-ray.
of Iron Giant. Did you get it for this, or
An
you just
instant
always had it?
classic.
No, I've had it for years. I just
many times
that
have you
really
watched
like
it?
didn't give me a twice, but that's not a valid. That didn't like give me any valid reason not to watch it again. You know what I mean? Just pulling it out with ease during this show.
so
but,
you do have it.
Yeah, no, I've had it.
You're gonna watch it now.
I wasn't hiding it. I just wanted to say, like, I saw that picture.
Like
It's
you
like,
have it, yeah.
Darius has that picture, and I was
oh,
like,
yeah,
that's
right
the
here.
cover of the like re-release for the Blu-ray.
Awesome.
Yeah, it came out like 2 years ago, I think.
Hell yeah.
Big deal, dude. Big deal.
Would you guys want to throw him in a different universe as far as like him fight Godzilla or him
All right.
fight some other?
Well,
like,
That's a very
Whoa, whoa,
interesting.
whoa.
I don't know.
I'm throwing it.
It has to fit the tone. It has to fit the tone. What
Well,
is a universe you could see it?
I could see it in the old Superman commercials, or not commercials, but the old Superman shows, because I feel like they came out in the same time. At least they have like the same like tone and style.
Yeah.
Do you know the ones where he's like they? It's gonna sound nerdy, but like they filmed it on rotoscope, so they drew out like every scene in motion instead of like the computer and animation that we have now. That's so like
Really?
point to point. But anyway, so it just okay. You gotta watch the old Superman.
old,
It's cold.
Yeah,
It's
it's
old,
cold,
and
it's
it's
cold, it's
Superman,
cold.
baby.
But I can see him in like a Superman.
You know what, bro?
universe. In
That's
the
sold.
movie, he's a super fan of Superman. The Iron
Yeah,
Giant.
that
Yeah,
was
he's
a great
even-
thing. I love
What
that.
if he like meets his hero?
Superman was his last words, or so we thought.
I was able to pull that back. I got off track, but I came back.
I wasn't gone, guys. I was just a little bit away. And now I'm back. Now I'm back, though. No, I like that. You gave me some knowledge, but
That sounded like a Guardians of the Galaxy joke.
you know, man, I don't know how, but we'll talk about that. But what I do want to say is I can't possibly continue this franchise without crossing it over or something. I've done it like
Okay.
50 times in my head where I'm like, I just think this movie, you boiled it down, has so much heart. It's kind of a masterpiece in my eyes. Like, this movie's very important to me, essentially why I own the Blu-ray. It's like, if you look at my Blu-ray collection, some of them are just weird ones that I've had just like from family,
Right.
and then the rest are very much like I'm trying to collect all the MCU movies. I like superhero movies, so I have like most of the DCU,
I
even though
see
I
the
don't
Hulk
watch
in
them.
there.
Yeah, I
Like-
don't see anything I don't like.
Like there's, and then down here, like you get into some art house stuff where it's like these are like my favorite movies of like the past few years and as well as the past. This
Wick.
falls into that category where it's like I just want to have this on physical disc in case like streaming dies tomorrow and I only have those movies to watch. This needs to be in my accessibility. Like I want to show my kids this movie. Like I don't
Wow.
ever plan on having kids, but the proverbial child that I'm gonna have in the future, like
Okay.
this is their shit. Like they ain't watching Incredibles till they watch Iron Giant, and it's not because Brad Bird is like I want them to go through his filmography. It's just because this movie's superior in so many different ways. It's just like you said, the animation, the like the heart of just the heart of it.
The
Fucking
storytelling's
A,
really
man.
deep and,
But
like,
what
yeah.
I wanted to say, did anybody see Ready Player One?
I did see. Oh,
So
he was
he's
in
in
it.
there, so,
I
like-
forgot about that.
That's not like the best, like that's not a sequel, but there were moments where when he's like getting melted at the end, like the character, because he's like the avatar of I forget the dude's name,
Yeah.
but you know what I'm talking about, where he's like
Yes.
sinking and shit,
Uh-huh.
like that little thing, like his
Oh, and gives a
face,
thumbs up.
like yeah, and like just the face and shit, like that brought back so many memories. So I want to shout out that movie just as like, don't make an Iron Giant 2, but if it was really heartening to see
we
him on
find
screen
that?
again,
Can
like.
we find that so we can see?
It was just really heartening, really
Uh-huh.
heartening. But do you guys, or does anyone have a continuation, like a to be continued that involves like Hogarth on another adventure or some shit? Like,
You know, I think that it would be really cool if, first off, the reason where it came to my mind is that I wanted to see like a live action version. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I would definitely like to see like an older Hogarth, like not too old. I'm talking like,
wow, that would be
like maybe like 15
That's
or something
crazy,
like
yeah.
that. It's been a couple
That's pretty
years.
I could definitely
You
see
know?
that coming back as like a live action. You start out and you film it like Godzilla, so you don't see much of the robot. You just see the size and like the craziness of like how he affects the world.
I mean, that shot in the forest, like that
Yeah.
whole beginning, like
Yeah.
in the forest is literally like that, like what you just kind of
Yeah.
described. Like that's definitely the tone and feel that it gives. Is like there's this giant thing that you don't really know what side it's on.
They could film it kind of like how they did
Yeah.
Winnie the Pooh, where it's like an older I forgot the Winnie the Pooh creator's name, but like Pooh comes back to visit him. Do you guys know the new
Yes.
Winnie the Pooh that came out in like live action?
Yeah, the other day, right?
yeah, you
Christopher
could-
Robin or
Not
whatever.
the other day.
Oh,
We could-
yeah,
we
yeah.
could-
Is that what you're talking
Yeah,
about?
no, I think that is.
Not finding Christopher Robin. It's something like that.
So,
though,
I think
you know?
that is
It's
it.
just- I think it's just Christopher Robin. Oh man, okay.
No, it's cool. Chill.
That thing. That would be cool to see like with Hogarth, like an older Hogarth finding out that his best friend is alive again and he's like a giant robot now.
Exactly what I was thinking. What I was
Wow.
thinking is that like, okay, what
Did
if
you guys see Bumblebee?
I did
I
not
have
see
not
that?
ever-
Okay,
seen
because
that.
that's kind of like proof to this, where it's just like there's very much a robot companion to this like younger kid, like teenage kid. So, I,
Yeah.
like that alone was a great movie in my opinion. So,
Okay.
just that concept, if it has the same heart with this tone and everything, like, dude, this is money. Like for anyone who is making movies out there, like, why hasn't Warner Brothers done this? Like,
Dude, is it?
Y'all are
It is Warner
geniuses.
Brothers.
Well, they
huh?
probably
Yeah.
will. I mean,
Okay, well, think about this. Like, so it's a couple years later. Hogarth has just turned old enough to like be like an adult. Joins the Air Force, becomes like this badass pilot or something like that, and then like Iron Giant returns back into his life, and he's like giving orders to like destroy it or something. And like it, like I'm not saying
Well,
that's how it starts
no.
or like ends, but something like that, like conflicting, and like obviously he takes the side of Iron Giant, but
no, I like that. How about we have the Hogarth where he's grown up and he's like starting to just put all his focus into flying and stuff like that, and he becomes so good that they start asking him to join along with like secret projects, and one of those secret projects seems to be working with the Iron Giant. So like the military captured it, but they
Oh.
weren't sure how to operate it, and they're still trying to figure it out. But older Hogarth is like, "That's my best friend. I know how he operates," and he just says, "Superman," and then the Iron Giant like starts waking up and all that, and then you have your buddy back, and then you know you could have it like, do we fight the military? Am I gonna have to do my job and fight you if you get out of like? I mean, then you can have some fun as far as narrative wise. You know, you can have them fight aliens, or you can have them fight in other countries' Iron Giant, and it could be like a huge message of like war and stuff like that.
wow,
I would-
I love all of that. Do you? Ah, man, that was intense. I liked all of
okay?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was great. That was great.
Would you want to see like a prequel, like find out where the origins of the Iron Giant come from? would you guys want to delve in? This is like a scary topic.
I don't
where,
know.
like,
Yeah, that's almost like
It just sounds like something that exists on like Disney XD as like a series.
Yeah.
Like it's just really
where
corny.
there's like Lilo and Stitch and they
Yeah,
have like the
exactly.
cousins and stuff.
I feel like
Yeah.
that's like giving like that's like remaking the
Although,
original
shout out to
trilogy
that.
of Star Wars. You know, like
Shout out to that Lilo and Stitch TV series. I'm gonna say shout out to that. Like that wasn't like too bad from my memory.
I just
sorry.
liked all
It
the
was.
creative aliens.
Yeah,
Like, the,
yeah.
different like personalities.
I felt like it
and,
worked, like because of what you're saying is
Yeah.
like the different personalities. I don't think that they have that angle with this. Like I don't know. I don't want to see 50 different Iron Giant robots. You know what I mean? Like or anything like that. Like
Yeah, that's probably good. I mean,
like I don't know. I get you. Maybe like a Broadway play.
what about this would kind of work for like a trilogy to the like story pitch we just did. But what if you have the Iron Giant trying to find his family though? Like he's trying to find out kind of like where he belongs and find not necessarily find out where he's from, but find others like him because let's say Hogarth is starting to have a family. Let's say he's in his like late 20s and he's starting to have kids and like trying to start manage like adult life, but you can't have big old buddy Iron Giant. That's not family friendly. I mean,
are
granted,
you
he's
saying like
probably-
an Iron Giant? What if it was like an Iron Giant like team up with older Hogarth, and they go through space to find like the origin? Because he like turns
So
into a
other, like,
spaceship or something.
I mean, yeah, I say keep it in the galaxy.
Yeah, I
Like,
feel like that's too far fetched.
what if he's like on the moon? What if there's like more to the moon, or what if there's like a space station that like I don't know. This is kind of seems to getting like
a little far fetched, I
it
guess.
loses its grounding because
Yeah.
it's the Iron Giant is surrounded by the mystery of it. Like,
Yeah.
What else does this thing do? What else does it know? Like what else is
Yeah.
to the Iron Giant?
It
So,
just
I mean,
seems like something that should exist in like fan fiction, but never anything that was like established in canon. Like, go ahead and write your own prequel to the Iron Giant. No one really gives a fuck, and if they do, they'll read it. But please don't. Just you have
Yeah,
one
no.
shot at fucking it all up. You know what I mean? I feel like
I
there's
feel like
more of a
it'd be an
chance that
easy
you fuck
fuck
it
up.
up.
It would
Yeah,
be
really
easily
easy.
fucked up.
It's easier to fuck it up. I feel like, but if you throw them in with a, all right, I'm telling you this. Strap in, boys.
yeah. like
The end of the Iron Giant. Fast forward to 10 minutes after the ending.
okay.
They're like, oh fuck, what is that?
It sounds so good
And
in
it's
audio.
like fucking, it's fucking just the atmosphere is breaking. It's, you hear that Michael Bay, and you're just like, oh fuck, what the fuck? And then fucking, he got some. Then boom,
So wait,
robots
hold on,
win.
hold on,
No,
hold
no,
on,
no,
hold
no,
on.
no, no.
What
Yep,
is happening or
That was-
happened? I don't
alright,
know
let
when
me-
it ended
alright,
or when
let me-
is it still going?
It all
When did
makes
start?
sense. All right, where was I? All right.
You're at bow.
I know, yeah. Right on the okay.
Reality's breaking open, dude. All these things just start landing. It's like, what the fuck? Hogarth is like, what? And then Iron Giant just fucking takes Hogarth like away. He's just like, fuck. Boom. Da 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 da. And then he runs back. He's like, what the fuck? And then it's Optimus motherfucking Prime.
Okay.
And he's
okay,
like,
okay.
he's like,
Honestly,
he's
that's
like-
what I was like thinking of. Like, is this going to Transformers?
like-
Would that be cool?
He's like, yo. He's like, Iron 572, we need you. And then he's like, and then it's like, bow, 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 bow. And then fucking
Damn,
boom.
you're suggesting the Iron Giant is a transformer.
He's an Autobot, dude, in disguise.
Oh,
but
okay, yeah.
as that happens, we're also thinking, damn, that was a lot of fucking sound effects before. That was a lot of like atmosphere breaking sounds. There's got to be more than just like, you know, Optimus Prime and 3 dudes, Autobots, homeboys. Want to know why? He was being chased, dude, by 30 Decepticons. Then boom, 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 Starscream shows up and he's like, Decepticons attack, and then all hell breaks loose. That's the start of the movie.
Okay.
So it doesn't take away from
Okay.
it doesn't take away from the fact that Iron Giant happened, but it does lend purpose to the fact that like Autobots love humans, always have been there for the betterment of themselves.
Okay.
Iron Giant didn't really remember who he was. If we can
But he
all
still had that-
put that out there.
He had that core programming in him to protect the
To
people
protect.
of Earth.
And then
Oh.
all we just need is just some Autobots to show up in their fucking satisfactory fashion,
Okay.
and then bada bing, bada boom, purpose is lended. the whole world just gets better because you don't really need Hogarth's story is over. We don't need to touch that shit. But the minute that you tell me he's an Autobot, I just feel like he's about to kill it. Because all we need is just like, I don't know, Ratchet coming up and be like, let me help you, brother. Iron 757. And then he remembers everything. He's kicking fucking ass, dogs. He has like thrusters coming out his elbows. It don't even make sense, but he has it.
Okay, he's gonna need some like character arc and all of that.
But he remembers his past.
Well, yeah.
The minute that happens, we can write a whole backstory about where he was on what's the fucking planet called? I'm so sorry. Not Ultron. Oh man.
a Tectron or something.
No.
Anyway.
Cybertron. Yeah, there.
Yeah,
it is.
Cybertron.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. We all
Tectron's
agree.
pretty cool. Yeah,
I mean,
it is Cybertron.
Even if we're wrong, we're right.
Yeah,
Okay.
we were all right.
Okay.
Tectron is like the cooler name. People don't remember that it was called Tectron before it was called Cybertron.
Oh, thanks, man.
That's like OG shit.
Like Tectron was a thing.
No.
Tectron 2018 was my favorite con of last year.
Tecron,
Alright.
Tecron. Okay, anyway.
Let me pitch you.
I only use Tecron.
I'm gonna pitch you a little more of the Optimus Prime. So
I mean,
feel
if
like
you need some sound effects.
Thank you. Stand by.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it'd be pretty cheap just to like turn on his memories, especially when that was so difficult in the first movie.
But if they had the technology of Autobot,
Then they need to fix Bumblebee's voice because that thing has been broke.
Well,
Since-
okay.
Point.
All I'm
Anyway,
gonna tell you
yeah.
guys.
Was
Yes.
it broken?
All
The
I'm-
movie? Was it broken?
All I'm gonna tell you guys is you need to watch Bumblebee.
Because you find out how it gets broken.
Okay,
Yeah.
this
It's a
was
Han
my-
Solo.
But
Wait.
that would explain because memory. You want me to spoil that part? 'Cause
No,
it's
no,
in the
no,
first
no.
like
No,
4
no, no,
seconds.
no.
No,
It's in the first
no.
like 3 minutes. Okay. All I'm gonna say is that memory is like a.
What is
It's
memory
not
like?
it's not a physical thing.
No.
You know what I mean? Like memory is a tangible thing that is a product of a physical embodiment of like a body part. Like my brain is what I associate with memory. But if I I would lose my memory if I don't have a brain, but I'd also not have it. You know what I mean? Like there's no
All right,
memory
yes,
piece.
We got it the first
So
time. Let's go. What?
the voice,
Yes,
the voice of Bumblebee, that would be like me losing my voice box. Like I can attach that to something. Like it's not like Iron Giant doesn't have a brain; he's still functional. He just doesn't have a memory. So I feel like it'd be way easier to justify why they could fix his memory rather than fix an actual voice mechanism. You know what I mean? Like if I didn't have a voice box, it's not like you could do that. But if I was like didn't have my memory, maybe it would come back one day. That's all I'm saying. Like it's not. Not all hope is lost because I still have a brain where the memory is housed. If I don't have a vocal box, my voice ain't coming back unless I get a new vocal box.
Well, I
right?
know,
They could do that.
But they're robots, so that like.
I mean,
That-
I see logic in it because they might have like some sort of like spare piece or something.
I just feel like
I
the
feel like you can
reprogramming.
build a voice box if you're a robot, but it'd be harder if you're a human. I mean, I get the human aspect.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You make
This is
my-
a stupid argument. I'm sorry.
No,
but,
you're good.
I just feel like the whole giving reason to his like getting his memory back. I literally think would take 3 seconds because they are robots.
Well,
But I do want to see him fight Godzilla. So please explain why you threw that out there in such a casual fashion because
hold on.
that shit's fire. Don't forget that because I want to know. I didn't even think about that. That shit's so cool.
Well, okay. First, I was thinking more into like how we can get the Transformers
Yes.
in there. As far as like, I think we should either start slow to get to the not Avengers.
Oh, whoa.
To get to the Transformers. Okay, look, I'll just pitch you this. So you have and you got to have the old classic style Transformers. I'm talking about the huge blocks. If we're gonna put them side by side with
Right.
Iron Giant. But I think it'd be cool to see Iron Giant finally making his way back to Hogarth following the second movie, but he's stopped along the way by a conflict between the Autobots and the Decepticons. And Optimus Prime or whoever recognizes the Iron Giant as in like, soldier, you're one of the missing ones, one of our like recruits that we sent out here to like scope certain countries in like the planet. Let's say they like shot out different ones to find out where their allies were. And the Iron Giant was just a forgotten one because his memory was, down. He still has the weapons, but he's lost the ability to transform. So that's where you can do some fixing, but I feel like don't give him back his memory only because that was such a strong thing in the story. But now it would be cool to see the Iron Giant have a bit of an identity crisis of, am I really a Transformer? What can I do? What am I supposed to do? What do I want to do? And ask these questions as he eventually says, like, I made a commitment and I'll join the Transformers in the end to fight the higher conflict.
So
It needs more enemy conflict. That was very character driven, but you could just play that with your sound effects.
yeah,
I think-
my sound effect, everything I said still stands. I feel like,
Okay, this is okay.
Yes.
I like giving the Iron Giant like that. I feel like would be the most plausible origin story for Iron Giant. You know, have a little bit of Transformers background from Cybertron, but I feel like it needs to be like smooth and like slower. Like,
Yeah.
like what if you were to just meet with like Bumblebee? Like, what if Bumblebee like just stumbled across him like in a junkyard, like at the end of Bumblebee, and like it was just like, oh shit, this thing's real, and then like
See,
that's when he like checks in or something like
with
that.
that though, is that I just looked it up, not here, but somewhere. The Iron Giant takes place in the 1950s. So
Hogarth would be dead.
Oh.
Or really old, I guess.
yeah, so I'm saying if
He
you
was
hold
9
on,
and
hold
so,
on.
but what I
57.
wanted to
No,
say
the-
is what that lends to, what I'm lending that to is that if
He'd be
we're
like
gonna
90.
put if we're gonna say the earliest, if we're gonna put this into the current canon of Transformers and knowing that
Yeah, no,
Bumblebee
there's
takes
been the-
place
yeah.
in the 80s, this is such a 30-year open window to just go fucking ham, and you can have those blocky ass motherfuckers because they are older.
Wait,
so like,
you want to take? Does Bumblebee take place in the 80s?
yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes it way better.
Yeah.
So he'd be like 40, Hogarth.
yeah, if he was around,
Yeah.
yeah, of course.
I'm trying to pull up some like characters that were in the 1950s to see what would be like.
Characters.
Such
Betty
as like
Boop,
other
dog.
Betty Boop.
I think I don't know.
Betty
Maybe
Boop
I think
and
that's
the
like
Iron
20s
Giant.
or
That
30s.
sounds- yeah.
I think that's way
Steamboat
earlier.
Willie. I think that was
Steamboat Willie. Yeah.
Steamboat Willie and the Iron Giant. Imagine him just like chilling.
Imagine that.
Going down the stream and then you see a giant like robot. Like, oh. Anyway, anybody have any other ideas on as far as like would you want to see him in any different platforms?
Like a video game.
Maybe.
I wouldn't necessarily want a video game unless
Nah,
it had to be
yeah.
like, one of, like
I
the
would like a
kid,
movie.
like Nickelodeon
I
ones.
just like a one movie where it's just balls to the wall, just inserting like the Iron Giant into just Transformers battle scenes.
What if
Like,
they made
I
like
don't
a
even
modern
need-
like Netflix like miniseries,
About
like
the Iron Giant?
8 episodes, live action. You know, they like brought in like again like a 30-year gap or something like that. Obviously, times passed, things have been complicated. You know, there's always gonna be that another threat. You know, and I kind of like the idea of like a new kind of Iron Giant coming to like with bad intentions, you know, that comes and like tracks the Iron Giant down and like that's it, like for some reason activates him and instantly knows it's like a hostile from some sort of origin explaining or something.
Well, I'm thinking that would be a cool, like, you know, as far as, like, the Iron Giant from a different country. Like, I would like to see if they let them try to, like, build their own rather than see, like, another one plopped from space.
Well,
Because
no, I meant
don't-
like a it'd be an Iron Giant from like a foreign country.
Yeah, so-
I mean, sorry. God,
That's
the Russian Iron
no,
Giant.
no, from like a
You want a
different
Russian
planet.
one? Okay.
It'd be from because isn't Iron Giant like
That's the, well,
He's like
I'm
an
hoping
alien,
that's
right?
the
He's
mystery. I
from-
hope they'd never explain that.
Yeah. What do you guys stand on the alien or just man-made? What do you think the Iron Giant is?
Well,
It's just we don't need an explanation. Just like I think he's an alien.
I think it is too. Wikipedia says it's an alien.
Okay.
I mean, the reasons I would provide that are for him being an alien is because A, he's got some really alien weaponry. However, his like outer suit doesn't look very alien. It
No,
looks
yeah, it looks
very
like
much man-made, especially in
Steam
that time.
tech.
Yes.
Like
So
steampunk.
what if we made a really sad? Does anyone know what happened to Hogarth's dad? Does anyone remember? I know he's not alive, right? Like the kid's fatherless. That's like pretty like that's like he just has
I
a
don't
mom, I think.
What if,
What if his dad made the robot? So it's not hitting. But what if the dad made the robot and then sent him to the kid so that he knew? What if the dad was like dying of a disease?
Like the dad's gotten
And
abducted.
then, but no, or the dad just dying of a disease, knows that he's not going to be there for his kid, makes this thing that's always going to protect him and sends it to him at his time of most dire need.
Have you seen the movie 9?
And then you can make a Netflix
No.
series about just this mad scientist dealing with a disease, but also trying to make this robot, and then it ends up being the Iron Giant in the end, and then you know the rest.
Well, in the
That's kind of cool.
That's like the same thing in well, not the same thing.
It's like
but
Hannibal.
in the movie 9, this guy like
never
takes
seen
part of
9.
his. Well, I'm explaining the thing for the thing.
Yeah.
No,
No, I just heard good things. Sorry, I was
you're good.
I was like
in
sick.
the,
Sorry.
in the movie 9, the scientist takes his soul and splits it into 9 different little like material icons. That could kind of be what the dad is for the Iron Giant, where that's why he has a memory loss, because that's not all of him. He tried to give the Iron Giant as much of himself as he could to send to protect Hogarth. It's just like...
Did you just describe the end of Harry Potter? The Horcruxes?
No, what? That was
So you're saying like piece of like his like memory or his whole
piece of his
brain?
like soul. Let's say soul.
Okay.
So like he built the robot. Probably, you know, maybe we can have it from like...
So
I like the alien idea.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to piggyback off of Garrett's idea when he said that like the dad is the one who created the Iron Giant. You could have like the personality of the Iron Giant be exactly like the dad, but just like 50%, because he tried to split his soul into another being.
See, I think it would just be like this dad is like making unprecedented movements in robot technology,
Well,
and he
in the
can either, and he's
1950s.
dying though, so he can either sell this technology to a company that he knows will weaponize it, even though he knows that he has no power over that once he dies. So he can either make his family rich,
That's really
or keep it for himself, save the rest of like humanity. They're not ready for this technology. Protect the son. That's all it does. Protect the son. Bada
Yeah.
bing, bada boom. That's the conflict of the show. Is this man dying,
Yeah.
but also trying to see what's morally right, but also wanting to make sure that his legacy will live on in multiple ways, but also financially. You'd probably get a shit ton of money if you made a robot that could potentially be built upon. And like if you gave the initial, it's like giving someone just like the motherboard to a computer and saying like build upon this. Someone's gonna make RAM. Someone's gonna make someone's gonna do some crazy shit to that if
So
you
you're
have a whole
saying
team of people.
he doesn't sell it, right?
I would say he doesn't, because it ends up with Hogarth and
Yeah,
Iron Giant.
okay.
You know what I mean?
Well, that'd be cool if like he used the company, to make the robot that his dreams were, and it was
Yeah.
like, I gotta build this robot and I do that, like all the specs are like coming out right and stuff, but he needs the money and he needs the backing, so he works with somebody, and the company is like, oh, this is amazing, we'll get rich, we'll sell it to all different countries, and there'll be a new escalation in war, but we'll be on the top of it.
Right.
However, they're like, well, we need to get rid of the scientist, and then because you're just gonna steal the ideas, but they realize he's dying. So they're like, well, we don't even have to do anything. We'll just wait until he
Damn.
dies out.
Yeah.
But that's when the scientist knows, like, I'm in a real tight position and I'm missing so much of my family. I need to be more with them. And that's why he enters in his own, like, programming for the Iron Giant to override the
It's like
systems.
Snowden.
Exactly. So there you go.
I love it.
So he's like changing the robot so it will not fight for any country. It won't fight, like some hard wiring into it. And then the dad dies. The company is like, cool, we got ourselves a robot. And when they try to operate it, that's when it like flips out on them and like gets lost or like trapped somewhere trying to escape the facility, and then crashes into Hogarth's yard. I don't know where
How
did
that
they?
would work.
No, in the beginning, how does Hogarth find the giant?
I thought it was in a forest, but I could be
Was
wrong.
it a
Yeah, he, like,
forest or is it a
finds it, like,
junkyard?
I just
eating
remember all the trees and
some
shit.
sort of like steel.
Yeah, I'm trying to
yeah,
like
the
bring it. I'm
junkyard,
trying to
huh?
bring it
Yeah,
from
the
the beginning, but I
junkyard.
forgot.
Yeah, you're all right. I'm
the
sorry.
junkyard.
Why am I thinking of?
No worries. That'd be pretty cool.
I like that. Like that would be the
Yeah.
only human element. I think we've covered that. Now I'm gonna throw this one out here. How cool would it be if the Flintstones walked outside and then the Iron Giant was randomly there?
That's a huge jump in time.
I
period.
think
It's
for the sake of
Yeah.
Just for
time,
culture shock, if you have Jetsons and the Flintstones, you can have Iron Giant and the Flintstones. What would they do with a giant robot? Think of all the hijinks. A her.
hurdy.
That's all I gotta
Like,
say.
this sound really
I
Teen
just-
Titans Go to me right now.
I was just laughing because it was like, I was like, wait, 50s cartoons. The Flintstones.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up the 50s cartoons right now, and
There's
frankly,
like Pink Panther, Jetsons, like that whole
Is,
era.
Charlie Brown
Felix the
in
Cat.
50s?
I don't know.
I would argue Charlie Brown could even be later or earlier. I mean, I don't know when it was a comic before it was anything. You know what I mean? Publications.
Yeah.
Man's been writing since the beginning of pens.
Since the beginning of Pen.
Yeah.
And then we've been telling stories even
I
longer.
really, I,
Yeah.
re- I, re- I
Since
really,
the beginning of Voice.
What? Okay.
I really like this idea of this live action
Iron Giant.
beginning prequel kind of series about the dad, how he's just kind of like a misfit, you know, like he's a loner, like he's gotten like government contracts to do stuff basically. and,
Holy
like,
crap! You could really get the cool like sense of style and scope, with, like,
Yeah, and,
the
like,
dad's like perspective.
And
He's
what
like a
if this
brainiac and,
government
like, that-
agency is the one that is in the trans-fucking-formers?
Oh, that like was District 51 or
Yeah.
not?
Sector
What's that?
7.
Sector
Sector
7.
7.
No, yeah, there you go. There you go.
It just ends up being Sector 7.
That'd be like a dope Easter egg at the end.
Yeah,
Like
it'd
just
be
like
funny.
have it just be like
Sorry.
That would be like
7.
Split, like
And
how they
every-
did that.
Yeah.
It's like, wait. And then we get that movie that you were talking about with the sick ass Transformers, old school. Like, I want Michael Bay sounds in an Iron Giant movie. Why hasn't anyone done
That's
that?
exactly what I was thinking right now. Like Michael Bay, what would you want? Who would you want to direct a live action
Oh, I wouldn't want him.
Iron Giant
Giant.
movie?
But I do want his
Michael
aesthetics.
Bay would be like, I don't know. That's like
After
already
the
did
guy who did
polarizing,
Bumblebee-
man. I don't know.
The guy who did Bumblebee also directed this movie called Kubo and the Two Strings, one of my favorite
Oh,
movies
yeah,
from
I
last
watched
year.
that too.
Amazing. Like, Leica is like my favorite animation studio right now. Like, they make some of the most beautiful shit. But that guy went on to direct Bumblebee, and after seeing that, man, I would want him to do every single robot type movie. Like, he just knows how to add a heart to it. Like, that was something Michael Bay could never do. And for the first time ever, you can fucking see what's going on in the fight scenes. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't. He didn't use very much shaky cam, like at
Yeah,
all.
that's
And
the
it's like, dude,
worst.
what the fuck, dude? Like, I know what's going on. Like, I know exactly. Like, I can see everything, and it's not moving. There's no cut shots. There was no like Bud Light ads built in, and like no ass shots that were
Yeah.
unnecessarily like tagged on. It's just
Yeah.
like, this was cool.
Action.
No, it's just a good story too. There was heart
Yeah.
to it. Like, Chad didn't like it. Our homie Chad, like, I thought for sure he'd like it, and he was like, "What?" And I was like, dude, what? That opening scene alone in the first 3 minutes blew my fucking mind. Like, that was everything I ever wanted. And that first 3 minutes is like the best Transformers on Transformers shit
way.
ever.
Huh.
So I would say, like,
How many
look out
Transformers
for this
movies
guy.
are there now?
That was the 5th one. No, 6th one. Sorry. Yeah. No, last
Oh,
night
the
was
6th
5. Yeah.
I thought they were gonna make 8 of like those movies.
He had 1, Revenge of the Fallen, Dark of the Moon, Age of Extinction, The Last Night, and Bumblebee.
Would you
Damn.
would you want to see an anime Iron Giant?
Anime.
yeah,
Iron
why not?
Giant. Huh.
Like
Why not?
I don't like. There's tons of those like a Kid and a Robot animes, but it would be
Yeah,
cool to
no,
see.
Can they do it in the style of like Ninja Batman, where it's just ridiculous? Like they just go balls to the wall. Have you ever seen
Wait,
Ninja Batman?
Which is that? Are you talking about the movie? Yeah.
Wait,
okay,
I haven't
yeah.
seen that, but it looks sick.
It's
as
really
fuck.
funny.
It's a pretty. Honestly,
it was fine.
Yeah, it's just a good.
But it's
story.
it's because they don't try to like they don't care. Like
Exactly,
They're
yeah,
just
the
like, yo,
whole-
like we're gonna be the only ones existing. Like it's not like we're in a universe with anybody, and we're just gonna take our Points at Ivy and just make her animate the fuck out, and like
Yeah.
everyone's gonna have a good time.
It's a pretty.
I like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's like one of those like you don't think too much about it. You just enjoy the
an
like
Elseworlds
richness
thing,
in
yeah.
the characters. Like
Yeah. The trailers look wild. I was just like, what is going on? It's
And it is
crazy.
wild. You definitely just need to get drunk or something and just watch
Yeah.
it. Every time they say like Batman, you take a shot.
Batman.
And, like you'll be done.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, that would be cool to see like the actual Iron Giant though in kind of an anime style. I wouldn't want to see him all like, and that's kind of like my American eyes that I don't want to see him all with those like random like points and like all decorated and stuff like that. I love the design, the simplicity of the Iron Giant itself. You know,
Yeah.
and that- I would love to see the kid like maybe a cool like Hogarth like dressed up in like a battle suit or something like that.
What do you think about this?
That'd
So
be-
there's like okay, so it's like Hogarth's grandson, and he's like stumbling around because his grandpa passed away. Hogarth just recently passes away. You know, his time came. So his dad is like going through, or not his dad, but
I'm gonna
his.
stop you right there. Hogarth will never died.
It's
Never.
been 19 years since the release.
No,
He's
it's
still
29
alive.
Since the release. Oh yeah. Oh. When?
1999.
It's been 20 now.
Oh,
It's
20.
2019,
Oh,
buddy.
shoot, yeah.
So okay, fast forward. It's now
Womp, womp,
2019 in the
womp.
universe. You know, like it
Yeah.
passes up from like the 50s. It's his
So
grandkids.
50. So yeah, so maybe.
Because it takes place in 57.
Okay.
It was like right after the Russians launched Sputnik, so that's why there's like this huge thing in the movies about like the agent being super paranoid that it's like Soviet like machinery or like spy tech or something. Anyway, so like it's like 2019, and it you know, he like the grandkid's like hella bored on his cell phone or something like that, like going through, and like all of a sudden he just like sees one of the bolts, and it's like being held back like on like
Oh,
it's
the
been like
missing bolt.
yeah, it's
out
been
of
like
all
under
this
like
time.
a it's
Yeah,
been like
I
under
got
like
you.
a bed or something. Thank you. And like he like picks up the bed, like what the heck is this? Picks up the bed and it just goes whoosh, and it like breaks like the window and shit like that. Finally goes to the Iron Giant who's been missing that one bolt for all this time,
Oh,
and he
then what
comes back and they somehow get like reunited or like
I was
meet for the first time.
Yeah, see that they meet for the first time. It would be such a sad, heartbreaking, great like inciting event like part of the story where you see the Iron Giant finally coming home but missing Hogarth
Oh.
because you killed him off. Didn't you kill off Hogarth?
I mean,
You killed off.
Yeah, you
the-
straight killed Hogarth.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I admit it. I killed him.
You got an Iron Giant missing his
I'm the
friend.
one. All right. Wait, what you got?
Okay, sorry. Okay.
No, go for it. Go for
So
it.
like Hogarth's grandson, he could be like angry with his dad over like his absence and all that, and then he could also be like kind of mad at the Iron Giant, like where were you or whatever, like what are you and things.
Wait,
like
do you
that.
want it to be Hogarth's son or do you want
Hogarth's grand what do you say whatever you used.
grandson? Because I just wanted the
Yeah,
only
you
reason
want
behind that is because
time?
I wanted to be like modern, like with like iPhones
okay.
and shit. Like,
Oh,
so it's
yeah.
all, you know, like
Yeah, I got you. You
he's
could-
the new Instagram. Like the Iron Giant's like a hit, like on Twitter, like going viral and stuff. You know,
You're
like
saying this with so much excitement. Your eyebrows are just like raised.
I'm getting
like,
excited.
Instagram.
I'm getting excited the
Iron
more I
Giant.
go.
The minute that the
The
Iron
places
Giant,
this place
yeah,
could
the
go.
minute that the Iron Giant, if he's on social media,
Oh my
the
God.
the minute that he sees fucking all the shit Boston Dynamics has been up to, it's game over. He's gonna turn on all of us. You've seen those Boston Dynamic videos? It's scary, dogs. It's scary.
I haven't seen Boston
I don't know
Dynamics.
what Boston Dynamics is.
Look up Boston Dynamics. They are basically like cutting edge robotics, but they post these like really out of context videos that's just like a robot dog that's like trying to open a door
Oh,
and
I've
then
seen those.
they're just
Oh, yeah.
closing the door.
Are they the same ones that did like the robot that backflips?
Yeah, all that shit. But it like the
That's
running
scary,
joke, the running joke that I've always heard is just like in the future that's propaganda that the robots are gonna show to other robots to show what humans did to them while they're like
Yeah.
coming up. Like
They
it's
made 'em do
propaganda.
backflips all day.
Like made him do backflips. That robot's just trying to open a door. He keeps closing it. Like this is literally or
This
like
is how they
or it'll
treated
start
us.
like running and then they'll kick it from its legs because they're just trying to see
Yeah.
how it like corrects itself. But like in reality, if you just cut that out. Like that just looks
Oh
like you're
my
drop kicking a
God.
robot, dog. Like, and if I was a robot, I'd feel some type of way about that.
They're already
But
plotting against us.
regardless, I was just saying, in the real world, like if he's that sentient and he sees that shit, think about how caring he is. He's gonna care about his kind. I feel like he's gonna go run up in Boston Dynamics and that
Oh
shit.
my God,
free
you're
the
right.
robots. Bada bing, bada boom. And if he's an Autobot, he got hella technology that's just stored in his brain.
Okay. So I like. Okay. So what about the Iron Giant finding his kind and trying to
I love it.
hold on and trying to
It reminds me of like kind of like the Planet of the Apes with James Franco.
well here's
Like he's got to make him smart.
Hogarth is James Franco.
Yeah.
He has him in his back garage
He
at
did,
like
'cause
age
that's the
30.
movie.
Yeah.
that's Caesar Iron Giant.
Oh my
We
God.
figured it out. Okay. Well, okay, what I was going to say is, so what if the Iron Giant is trying to, like, protect other robots after he starts, like, he comes back and he finds out that they've been working on making another Iron Giant and all that, and he sees his people being used as weapons and, like, territory and all that stuff, so he's like, I need to save my kind and all that, but he ends up being in conflict with the actual military and causing a lot of destruction. So you put him in that same confrontation where now he has his own family. It's not just humans that he's trying to protect. It's also his robots that he's trying to protect. He has to pick one or the other. So, conclusion, Hogarth tells him, you gotta go. You gotta go. They're not safe here. None of you are. He picks up all of his robots and flies to the moon to live outside of the humans. Like, to live separately.
Dang. So they start their own like kind of robot like life on the moon.
Yeah, kind of like a pilgrimage, so they get their own space mainly because they've like too much conflict with Earth.
Dang. So am I smelling like another like piece of the puzzle, a trilogy where they like surround like the universe or like the robot world, the robot world like on the moon, you know, and he just shows up there built out like city.
What if like the humans have a peace treaty? Is that what you just said? Is there a peace treaty involved? Because that'd be hilarious if they're like, you guys can just have the moon.
That's the follow-up movie.
And then you
I
follow
like
up,
that.
and then it just flash forward 20,000 years, and then it's just like, dude, like the moon's way cooler than Earth.
Like, and it's like that becomes Cybertron, and
yeah,
that's the origin
oh
to.
my god.
Oh my.
I like how we
God.
keep going back. Do you want to tell me how? I want to just say that looking at how these new Godzilla movies are coming, and we have a Godzilla versus King Kong movie
I'm
coming.
so excited for these
Yeah,
Godzilla movies.
I know it looks so
Side
crazy,
note.
They
but
look
all these
huge.
monsters are fighting and shit, and like everyone says Godzilla is the true savior of mankind.
Godzilla.
What if none of these monsters can come to a conclusion or an agreement? So the only true savior for mankind is the Iron Giant. Kicks all their asses.
It's like the
Mitigates that
giant
shit.
Justice League.
It's like a therapist. He just comes in and just settles this shit for everybody.
I would love to
Marriage
see
counselor.
in that universe all the
Iron
kaijus.
Giant. Marriage counselor. That's the movie.
Iron
No,
Giant.
oh my god. What you talk about? My favorite kaiju in that like monster series is Mothra. It would be so
Me
dope,
too.
right? Mothra
She looks beautiful. in
Dude,
this
that's what
one.
I'm saying. Like, what if like it was like them united, Iron Giant, King Kong, Godzilla against a greater evil?
Yeah.
But what could that evil
Yeah,
be?
like a planet.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, now you
Cybertron.
you guys are really throwing me in this like we need a new fighting game like Mortal Kombat style with like
Bro.
Godzilla
Oh
and Mothra
my,
and
wow.
I
all
thought
that
you were about to. All right,
But-
never mind. Go ahead.
DLC is the Iron Giant.
All
You
right.
know how
And
they
you
have
can
this
put like
crazy
all
one?
the
You just-
Transformers in
you
there,
just
and they're all
threw
just giant
all the
like
Transformers.
bust
fighting things.
this damn shit open, bro. Because I was literally like, when you went forward and you interrupted, I was literally gonna say, why isn't there a fighting game where you have all the coolest robots? Like you got
Oh,
Voltron in there, you got Iron Giant in there, you got Megazord in there,
Okay,
you got
yeah,
fucking.
Megazord.
But
You got like
now,
a souped up
now
AT-AT.
you just blew my fucking mind because you still can have all those crazy fucking big robots. You got like fucking, I don't know, just
Some of
fucking
the-
cool ass motherfuckers in there.
Oh,
All the
there's-
Transformers in there and shit. But I can already picture the fighting screen. Picture Mortal Kombat or Capcom versus or Marvel versus Capcom. You know how they separate that shit? You got robots on this side and fucking kaiju giant monsters on this side.
Whoa.
Bada bing, bada boom. You could have robots versus robots. You could have monsters versus monsters. You could have robots versus monsters. You could even have monsters versus robots. It's a lot of shit going on. No, it's different.
No, it's different.
different.
It's different.
Fighting style.
That would be crazy. I'm trying to find out like some more, because all of this sounds like what's that movie where they fight? What's the robot fighting aliens movie?
Oh, you're talking about Pacific Rim.
Yes, that's yeah.
Yeah, but cooler.
Yeah,
but with
Pacific-
like licenses.
Personally, was not a huge fan of Pacific Rim.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, Guillermo del Toro did a cool job, like visually.
You know, Bender the robot from Futurama kind of looks like Iron Giant.
Wow.
Like it hits me with a little similarity.
Kinda, yeah.
Or is that racist? Is that?
Except he
the-
doesn't have the
the
jawline
robots,
of
yeah.
Iron Giant.
They're pissed, man. But yeah.
They're
I mean,
pissed, man.
is there any other ways you guys would continue this shit?
Well, I was trying to find some more like.
I think
robots,
throughout
but
all
honestly-
this, my favorite
think
so
a
far has been a
fighting
mix
game.
of either like, you know, not to toot my own
Go
horn
on.
here, but the modern 2019 one, or the Netflix series Origin about like the creation, like Hogarth's dad making the Iron Giant. I like that.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
My only concern is when you can, if you ever do continue this shit. Sorry. The best way to do it is in the style of like Ready Player One, where you just throw them in there. It's not really direct. Like, just don't fuck up the original. You know what I mean? So it's like the safest way to either do that, in my opinion, is
Just to throw them
to-
onto something.
Well, I think
Transfer them into a
I think
universe.
if you do anything in that timeline, you should go forward. Like you should tell the beginning, I guess, but don't go after. But really, I would just like to see him continued in like that fighting game that we just pitched. Like that would be fucking phenomenal. Like they have that fighting game coming out where it's all these like anime characters. Like you can have like Yugi versus Naruto, and then like,
Yeah.
throwing the guy from Bleach and shit, and it's just like, oh shit, this is cool. Like if you like that type of stuff, why can't you do that with monsters and robots?
No,
it just
yeah.
sounds amazing.
I really want to be able to fight with the Iron Giant.
Yeah, and then have
Yeah.
Voltron be his tag team partner. Bada bing, bada boom.
I mean, that would be pretty cool to see like a combo move with those two.
Yeah, and then
That'd
you
be-
could also have Godzilla on your fucking team. Like what the fuck?
All right, what about Astro Boy and Iron Giant? Kind of like
For sure.
for sure. No,
For
See
sure.
a little Astro Boy flying around with Iron Giant. I don't know. I feel like this style wise, those two could like
Yeah, definitely.
possibly, but I don't see like a good
I
story.
don't know who that
with
benefits
those two.
more. I don't think it benefits anybody.
I think it would honestly be really cool to bring
Astro
like,
Boy's back.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of like a forgotten movie.
Yeah.
a big team up, but way too long.
You gotta sell
Dude, I
him.
want him to be a cameo on like Young Justice.
Astro Boy
No,
Oh,
Iron
Iron
Giant.
Giant?
Yeah.
on Young Justice.
Yeah, like
That's
the
where we end
Justice
this
League or
podcast,
something.
folks.
That's it.
We have officially ran out of
Big
good
bad.
ideas.
Jake
We should definitely
joined his hero.
We should definitely do a Young Justice episode. But anyway,
I like
so is there any other things that we can see? Are
I
we?
think we did a fucking great job.
Yeah.
We tied it into
Yeah.
robots. We tied
Some
it
of
into
my wish
monsters. We
lists.
made a fighting game. We
Even threw
wrote
in
a
a little
really
Bumblebee.
deep story about his past.
All right. Well then, I've been Dare,
I've been Garrett.
I've been Jake.
and this is To Be Continued.
Have a great night.